One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. To let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on to his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and earth, the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Yes, sir. Day by day, just like the song says, man. Much love, honor, respect to all of you freaking legends up in the Breakfast Club, man. Good morning, good morning. We got a lot of kind of craziness going on in the media, as you guys can see right here. The title of this video is Troy Hospital Shooting, which is, by the way, in Michigan, in Detroit. And the manhunt for suspect is underway. Currently, we're going to be talking about what happened there, as well as, you know, well, actually, that's going to be the back half of the show. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and provide you guys the news up front and the world news and the breaking news of what's happening. And then, of course, we'll go into that story on the second half, right? But it is still my job to absolutely keep you guys all informed on what is happening in the world and the world's madness, man. But before we get into it, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the show, man, hit that subscribe button because it's also free, man. Please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure that we're not going to be breaking no banks out here, you know. But listen, this is exactly how we're able to do what we're doing here and not have to rely on views whatsoever. A little side note, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, you know, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my lifestyle, but of the show, as well as Millennial Food Time. And this is the best way to just get in contact with me. Also, a little side note, Naomi in the chat, she is dropping the Discord link. So make sure you guys go in there. I've gotten actually pretty damn active in the Discord. So as everyone in there already knows that they've seen me kind of actively in there. So we're making channels up. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff. And it's great seeing all of you guys engage with that. Also, very last thing here, last call to action. Okay. Every gifted membership signups, super chat, gifted, you know, all of these things, you know, as well as like the super stickers and all that stuff is, of course, going to be shouted out live onto the show and presented and hurrah, you know. But if you guys would like to help out the show and skip that brutal YouTube 30% cut, we have these platforms scrolling on the bottom for the remainder of the show. And of course, I will read out your message live. And this is a way to get the 100% of the money to the creator. You know what I mean? So it helps out the show immensely. Good to see everyone up in here. We got brother Lee Lance up in here. Good to see my man, as well as Route of Chaos. We got Wes up in the building. Shout out to my man. We got Carney over there on the Facebook side, man. Hey, that's right. Smash that like. We got Allegedly as well. Good morning to you. Hopefully you're doing fantastic. I know the heck we are over here. Let's see who else we got in here, man. We got Jamin up in the building as well, man. Good to see my man. Great show yesterday, by the way. We got Kitty as well, as Steve Easy is up in here as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Buchicon, as well as Lappy and Gary and Warland, man. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us this beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning. You know what I mean? We're about to get into the craziness. And Carney is here as well. Look at that. Look at the amount of love, man. We got Johnny Reno over there, man. I always appreciate my man hanging out with us. All right, we're about to get into the craziness. We got Jesse as well, man. That's right. Let's get it. We're about to do it right here, right now. Make sure you guys hit that like button going into this. As you guys know, we're going to be talking about the Troy hospital shooting in Detroit, Michigan at the end of, well, not the end, the last half of the show. The very first part of the show, we're going to be discussing all the world news that's happening right now and all the breaking stuff. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And hey, always appreciate you guys, by the way. Can't do this shit without you guys. All right, let's do it.
Back, everyone, here to live now from Fox.
Why does he sound weird?
White House briefing for some of the highlights.
Does that sound weird? It does sound weird to me.
Nearly 300 days aboard.
Okay, so this, I don't know exactly what time this happened. Okay, it says Wednesday, March 19th. Okay, so this was yesterday. This is a replay, but they are, it's very strange because they're looping this once every 45 minutes, 30 minutes in the news. They're looping this constantly. So I haven't heard it. I just see that it just keeps being shown. So let's go ahead and figure out why the fuck is this being thrown into the media like this nonstop. When they recycle and they keep using it, there's a reason for it. They're like, no, we want people to know about this. So let's go ahead and figure out what the hell's happened.
To the International Space Station, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams are back on Earth. These two incredible astronauts were only supposed to be up there for 8 days, but because of the Biden administration's lack of urgency, they ended up spending 9 months in space. Joe Biden's lack of courage to act boldly.
Are you serious? She had to lock down her school this morning? Are you serious, Steve? What's going on here, man?
And decisively was a big reason why Butch and Sonny did not make it back until yesterday. But President Trump doesn't waste time. Immediately after taking office, President Trump directed Elon Musk and SpaceX to rescue these brave astronauts alongside NASA. The president also called the acting administrator of NASA and told her to bring the astronauts home as soon as possible. As acting administrator Janet Petro said herself yesterday, per President Trump's direction, NASA and SpaceX worked diligently to pull the schedule a month earlier. The president looks forward to welcoming Butch and Sonny to the Oval Office when they are recovered. This historic mission brings new meaning to President Trump's promise to always look out for the forgotten man and woman.
Listen, you can, like Steve Posey up in here says, hell yeah, astronauts home. Thank you, Elon Musk. And listen up. Listen, you don't have to like homeboy, you know what I mean? But I don't see anyone else catching fucking 700 kilograms of fucking rockets from the air, you know what I mean? And landing it like it's no big deal. Like, I don't see anyone else doing that shit. So, hey, you know, very good job over there, Elon. Anyways, back to this. Real quick, we got Mount High up in here. Just got to give a shout out to my man right there. I definitely like button and left-handed tobacco all the way around, homie. We got America Uncensored as well. Good to see my man. Thank you for hanging out. And the left is calling BS and saying this was planned by Biden. Of course, right? We got Wildcard as well, man. Good morning to you. Thank you for hanging out with us.
On another important matter, yesterday, President Trump and President Putin spoke about the need for peace and a ceasefire in the Ukraine war. Both leaders agreed this conflict needs to end with a lasting peace and also stressed the need for improved bilateral relations between the United States and Russia. President Trump also spoke with President Zelensky this morning to align both Russia and Ukraine in terms of their needs and requests. As President Trump has said repeatedly, the precious lives and money that both Ukraine and Russia have been spending in this war would be better.
Yo, Pitbull over there in the UK, man. Just got to give a big shout out to my man. Thank you for that. Very much appreciate that. And yeah, that is true. He hires a lot of motherfuckers, right? Obviously, Jamin. That is true. Very, very true. All right, back to this.
Spent on the needs of their people.
Thank you, Pitbull, by the way.
This conflict would have never started with President Trump in charge, but he's determined to end it once and for all. President Trump also promised maximum transparency and a commitment to rebuild the trust of the American people and our intelligence community. Part of that promise was to fully release previously classified records related to the assassination of former President John F. Kennedy, and he made that happen yesterday. This historic release consisted of approximately 80,000 pages of previously classified records that are now published.
Oh, shit.
The records are available to access either online at archives.gov/JFK or in person, accessible to the American people at the National Archives in College Park, Maryland.
Oh,
Records
hell
that
no.
are currently only available for
Wildcard is calling you motherfuckers out. We got 33 of you guys in here. We only got 22 likes. Come on, man. What is going on around these parts, dude?
Stop the cap.
Shit. Come on, man. I don't ask you guys to send in money, but I do ask you guys to do one extra step for me is hit that like button. That's what I ask, man. It helps out the show and it's free, you know? Wildcard, I appreciate that, by the way. Hardwire, by the way, for 8 fucking months coming in hot. Saying howdy, y'all. I'm at work listening. Please take a bump and pass the rest down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Hardwire, thank you for 8 fucking months, man. I can't thank you enough, kind sir.
Person viewing are being digitized and will be uploaded in the coming days. On another note, positive economic data continues to pour in, showing the immediate impact of President Trump's pro-growth agenda. After suffering a steep decline in the final year of the Biden administration, the manufacturing sector came roaring back in February. Industrial production surged in February. These are new numbers, 3 times at a greater 3 times rate than the expectations to its highest ever recorded level. And President Trump's laser focus on massive deregulation and unleashing our domestic energy.
True, Clovertack. A lot of it was all the shit that we already knew. But hey, good morning to you, kind sir. Hopefully you're doing fantastic on this Thursday morning. Hopefully you're doing fantastic.
Energy industry is leading to stabilities for Americans' bottom lines. As Newsweek summed it up today, gas prices are plummeting under President Trump. And the Trump administration continues to make American communities safer through our ongoing mass deportation campaign of illegal alien criminals. Yesterday, FBI Director Kash Patel announced the agency captured another fugitive from its 10 most wanted list, securing the extradition of Francisco Javier Roman Bardeles, a key senior leader of the brutal MS-13 gang. And the brave men and women of ICE also arrested a number of dangerous aliens across the country in recent days. You will see them on this screen. ICE San Francisco just arrested a citizen of Guatemala convicted of sexual battery. ICE New Orleans arrested a citizen.
Shit. Here goes the list of people, right? Let's go ahead and skip a little bit of her naming people.
ICE Dallas arrested
Because we already know, yeah, you're going to keep arresting rapists and murderers, you know, get it? Yeah.
Contact with a child in Texas. These are heinous criminal alien monsters who the previous administration allowed to flood into our country. And every time President Trump and this team deport one of them, our country becomes safer. Finally, before I open it up to questions, I want to tout how successful our efforts have been in filling out President Trump's administration. There have been a record number of 281 Senate confirmed nominations already, with another 280 in process.
Damn.
Here at the White House, OPM and GSA, we have filled 100% of the total number of slots. And this is a record number of placements in the first 58 days of any administration.
Yeah, that's a fuck ton, dude.
And a testament to the caliber and the sheer quantity of talented people who want to work for President Trump to make America great again. Here in our new media seat today, we have Katie Pavlich. Katie
Whoa, hold on. See, this is, I need to be better at this. I look away for 2 seconds from this thing, and then of course I mess up. So we got allegedly coming in hot, by the way, with the 50 spot. Holy shit on the Cash App, man. Thank you so much. Allegedly, I'm getting better. I'm getting better at checking this, you know, but I've got to be better than that. It needs to be immediate. You know, I'm going to get there. I promise you I will. Allegedly, thank you so much for the just the immense selflessness in that, man. I can't thank you enough for helping the show immensely.
Editor of townhall.com, which is a subsidiary of Town Hall Media. It's a leading conservative news and opinion outlet based right here in Washington, D.C., with writers and journalists reporting around the country. Last year, Town Hall Media had 60 million unique users and 1.4 billion page views, with a broad reach on a number of social media platforms. With that, Katie, please kick us off.
Thank you, Caroline. Really appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you. So given the back and forth with this U.S. District Judge and the administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act, does the president plan to send new and additional flights of Venezuelan gang members, now designated as foreign terrorists, from the U.S. to El Salvador or elsewhere? Can Americans expect to see those flights sometime soon?
Americans can absolutely expect
Shoot, man, I haven't seen Shadow in a minute. Good to see my man right there. Absolutely. He's working hard. Hey, working and lurking, man. Nothing wrong with that.
to see the continuation of the mass deportation campaign that has been successfully led by this president, Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, and also our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Since you brought up the judges, I would like to point out that the judges in this country are acting erroneously. We have judges.
Oh, you're saying that these are biased judges? No.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Biased judges? What?
Who are acting as partisan activists from the bench. They are trying to dictate policy from the president of the United States.
True, allegedly.
They're trying to clearly slow walk this administration's agenda, and it's unacceptable. As the president said last night, we will continue to comply with these court orders. We will continue to fight these battles in courts, but it's incredibly apparent that there is a concerted effort by the far left to judge shop, to pick judges who are clearly acting as partisan activists from the bench in an attempt to derail this president's agenda. We will not allow that to happen. And not only are they usurping the will of the president and the chief executive of our country, but they are undermining the will of the American public, tens of millions of Americans who duly
She's not wrong.
elected this president to implement the policies that are coming out of this White House.
And then one more question. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said yesterday that he was united with Democrats in working against Americans who, quote,
Man, that guy is rough.
their attitude is, I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? Or I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how to treat my customers? What is the president's response to this, given his upcoming tax agenda and need to work on Capitol Hill?
Well, we certainly hope that Democrats all of a sudden are for more money in the pockets of the American public. The president has made it incredibly clear that he is committed to tax cuts. He is committed to passing a big reconciliation package later this year, ending no taxes on tips, taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security for our.
Ah, yes. No tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. And now we just got to take away income tax. You know what I mean? You know, there's only two things in life that we can promise, right? Is death and taxes, and only one of them are unconstitutional. Isn't that funny?
Oh shit!
All right, back to this.
For hardworking seniors. And we encourage everybody on Capitol Hill to support that when it comes to the finish line, especially Democrats who clearly need a boost from the American public right now. Their approvals are at an all-time record low. Thanks for being with us, Kate.
That's right, Lee.
Garrett.
One other question, but I want to follow up on Kate's
KP.
question, actually. You said the mass deportation campaign would continue, but she asked about the flights specifically. Will those flights to El Salvador continue while this case is being appealed?
We don't have any flights planned specifically, but we will continue with the mass deportations. And I would just like to point out that the judge in this case is essentially trying to say that the president doesn't have the executive authority to deport foreign terrorists from our American soil. That is an egregious abuse of the bench. This judge does not have that authority. It is the opinion of this White House and of this administration, and that's why we're fighting this in court. And it's very, very clear that this is an activist judge.
You know, it blows my mind that this chick is only 27 years old. It does blow my mind.
Who is trying to usurp the president's authority. Under the Alien Enemies Act, the president has this power, and that's why this deportation campaign has continued. And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist. He was appointed by Barack Obama. His wife has donated more than $10,000 to Democrats, and he has consistently shown his disdain for this president and his policies, and it's unacceptable.
Where I wanted to go about the idea that these people are all foreign terrorists, but Judge Boasberg was originally appointed by George W. Bush and then elevated by Barack Obama. I just feel like I should clear that up.
Well, let me just say something to that effect, Garrett. 67%.
Are you serious, Steve? So the lockdown at my old lady's school was caused by a few girls doing a TikTok trend to threaten schools or the school. Wow. These TikTok trends are dangerous, dude, because 99.9% of the people aren't going to actually do it or whatever, but it's that 0.1%, 1% of people, whatever, that do decide to do these stupid ass trends because it gets views. And sadly, the young generation only looks at views as like, that's it, like, to them, views is better than money. And I'm so the opposite. I'd rather have money than the views. You know what I mean? But anyways, back to this.
Of all of the injunctions
That's crazy.
in this century have come against which president? Donald J. Trump.
God,
Let me say that
Purdy
again.
Mao.
60% of the injunctions by partisan activists in the judicial branch have come against President Donald Trump, and 92% of those have been from Democrat-appointed judges. This is a clear, concerted effort by leftists who don't.
Absolutely, she is. She knew what was up. Cha-ching. I wish I had a little money. I wish I had a little money soundboard. You know, part of the soundboard, like cha-ching. Yeah, absolutely. And who knows? Honestly, look at the connection at the dude. Maybe even the dude is the reason why she even got thrown into a position like this. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just stating, but it is interesting. Absolutely.
Like this president and are trying to impose or slow down his agenda.
So, given that, do you think it's a good use of Congress's time and the president's political capital to try to impeach and remove a federal judge, which would take 67 votes you're unlikely to get in the Senate?
Well, look, the president has made it
Shit, what's up, Brother Slim?
clear that he believes this judge in this case should be impeached. And he has also made it clear that he has great respect for the Chief Justice John Roberts. And it's incumbent upon the Supreme Court to rein in these activist judges. These partisan activists are undermining the judicial branch by doing so. We have co-equal branches of government for a reason, and the president feels very strongly about that. Jackie.
Thanks, Carol. What options does the president have to, he says he's going to follow court orders. He wouldn't defy a court order, but he's raised these concerns about these judges acting in such a partisan way. What option does he have to ensure that his agenda continues to move forward while this is ongoing and the judges appear to be trying to just block and delay and impede?
Well, you're right. They are trying to block, delay, and impede. This is lawfare. The president is no stranger to it. He faced it in his campaign, and this is a continuation.
Oh, wow. He helped finance her bid for public office, but she lost the race. Hey, listen, what did I say the main motivator was? Cha-ching. He helped finance that. Well, you think that he's still financing and still helped to get her this? I'm sure of it. Absolutely.
Of the lawfare that President Trump faced as a candidate, and he's now unfortunately facing as a president. Clearly, these partisan activists in the judicial branch didn't get the memo on November 5th when the American people overwhelmingly reelected this president to continue with mass deportations. So White House counsel and the Department of Justice are working on this. They're appealing these cases, and we will continue to use the full weight of the White House counsel's office and the president's team of lawyers to fight this in court, because we know we will win, even if we have to go all the way to the Supreme Court.
One more on PDA. Andy McCarthy said in an interview with Hugh Hewitt, he certainly agrees with what the president is trying to do with the Alien Enemies Act, but he's not sure that the law is
Here we go with the Alien Enemies Act
on his side. He cites some previous Supreme Court rulings dealing with enemy combatants in wartime.
No, it's not useless. You see how I needed that information right there. I love that that stuff allegedly. I appreciate it.
He says that even they have a challenge or a right to challenge their detention in court. He raised concern also that while TDA has been designated as a terrorist organization, these individuals hadn't been prosecuted for terrorism. So my question is, will the president ask Congress potentially to declare war on these cartels for the invasion that he's talked about so that he's on stronger legal footing?
Well, we absolutely disagree with the legal opinion of the individual that you mentioned. We would not.
But I will tell you, her public speaking is off the fucking chain. She knows how to do some public speaking like a motherfucker.
Move forward with this if we didn't believe the president. This was within the president's executive authority to continue with this mass deportation effort. under the authority provided to him under the Alien Enemies Act. And when you read the act, as I did last time at the podium, a predatory incursion is absolutely what has happened with Tren de Aragua. They have been sent here by the hostile Maduro regime in Venezuela, and the president, immediately upon taking office, designated TDA as a foreign terrorist organization. And under this act, it is within the president's authority to deport these terrorists. And anybody trying to defend these terrorists who have now been sent off of American soil should talk to the families of the individuals who these heinous monsters have killed and have raped. If you talk to those families, they are so heartened by the president's decision to take tough action and to use his executive authority, something that no other president has been willing to do, because President Trump does what he says he's going to do, and he is deporting these foreign terrorists from American soil to secure our homeland, and he's within his rights to do that.
Much love, Lee. Always appreciate you.
Tesla, there's a website that's trying to dox Tesla owners across the country and saying they're only going to take down personal information when people show that they've sold their cars. What's the administration going to do about that?
I haven't seen that website, but we certainly think it's despicable, the violence that has taken place against Tesla, the company, its employees, and also just Americans who have chosen to drive an electric vehicle. Many of them are Democrats, by the way. Democrats were big supporters of Tesla and of electric vehicles until Elon Musk decided to vote for Donald Trump.
Some carne asada.
So we would like Democrats to also come out and condemn this heinous violence that we have seen. And I believe the Attorney General has said she's investigating these incidents as acts of domestic terrorism. Jennifer.
On Ukraine, can you say, is the White House going to pause foreign military aid?
Yo, real quick, before they get into military aid and the pause of it, we got Brother Duke up in here. Man, I haven't seen you in forever, man. Good to see my man right there, as well as Chicago Feeder, man, as I haven't seen you two, both of you guys, in a minute. Good to see both of you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Thursday morning so far. I know we are over here. You know what I mean? Hopefully everyone's doing good.
Or intelligence sharing.
And thank you guys for hitting that like button for me, by the way. I very much do appreciate that, man.
With Ukraine, as Russia says it's pushing for, and then have a follow-up on the Federal Trade Commission.
Sure. When it comes to Ukraine, I do have a statement for you from the National Security Advisor and also the Secretary of State. First, I'd like to reiterate what the president said earlier following his call with President Zelensky this morning.
Fuck. Terrible to hear, dude. Hopefully you heal up well and quick, man.
He said he just completed a very good telephone call with President Zelensky. It lasted approximately 1 hour. Much of the discussion was based on the call made yesterday with President Putin in order to align both Russia and Ukraine in terms of their requests.
Holy shit, Lee. We got a lot of medical shit going on in here, huh? Lee says, Mike Ball, I meant to tell you that the kidney doc said that my kidneys was at stage 2. Jeez, man. I'm going to guess that is not the best sign in the world. I'm going to guess. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. That's terrible.
We are very much on track, and I will ask Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Mike Waltz to give an accurate description of the points discussed. That statement will be put out shortly. Well, I have that statement for you right here. Bear with me as I read it. Today, President Trump and Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky had a fantastic phone conversation. President Zelensky thanked President Trump for a productive start for the work of the Ukrainian and American teams in Jeddah on March 11th. The meeting of the senior...
Wait, what? You got amputated, Duke? Oh, man. So they took a toe. I'm going to guess. Well, I'm not going to guess. So I do know that if they can't save like an infection, or if they can't do whatever the case is, they do have to, amputate either a foot, a leg, whatever the situation is. If they do get to that point, Duke, just so you know, doesn't mean your life is over or anything like that, man. Just so you know. I think that, especially coming from me, yeah, it's a mindset, man. Positive mental attitude. But sorry that you're going through something so hardcore, dude. That's fucking terrible. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Senior officials from both nations significantly helped in moving toward ending the war.
Good morning.
President Zelensky thanked President Trump for the support of the United States, especially the Javelin missiles that President Trump was first to provide and his efforts towards peace. The leaders agreed Ukraine and America will continue working together to bring about a real end to the war, and that lasting peace under President Trump's leadership can be achieved. President Trump fully briefed President Zelensky on his conversation with Putin and the key issues discussed.
And Frederick, all the legends pulling up. Man, good to see everybody.
They reviewed the situation in Kursk and agreed to share information closely between their defense staffs as the battlefield situation evolved. President Zelensky asked for additional air defense systems to protect his civilians, particularly Patriot missile systems, and President Trump agreed to work with him to find what was available, particularly in Europe. The two leaders also agreed on a partial ceasefire against energy. Technical teams will meet in Saudi Arabia in the coming days to discuss broadening the ceasefire to the Black Sea on the way to a full ceasefire. They agreed this could be the first step toward the full
Yo, Christopher up in here as well. Good morning.
and ensuring security. President Zelensky was grateful for the president's leadership in this effort and reiterated his willingness to adopt a full ceasefire. President Trump also discussed Ukraine's electrical supply and nuclear power plants. He said that the United
Yo, Jeremy Ryan up in here. Yo, Mike, haven't managed to catch a stream lately, but I'm here now. Hope all is well. Hey, man, good to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thursday morning. We are. We're about to get into, by the way, the breaking news right after this. We have a lot of breaking news that we're going to kind of skip through as fast as possible, kind of ordeal, so that we can get over to Troy hospital shooting over there in Detroit.
United States could be very helpful in running those plants with its electricity and utility expertise. American ownership of those plants would be the best protection for that infrastructure and support for Ukrainian energy infrastructure. President Zelensky also thanked President Trump for continuing to push humanitarian concerns, including the exchange of prisoners of war. He noted they had just had a successful exchange and thanked the president for his leadership on that. President Trump also asked President Zelensky about the children who had gone missing from Ukraine during the war, including the ones that had been abducted. And President Trump promised to work closely with both parties to help make sure those children were returned home. They agreed all parties must continue the effort to make a ceasefire work. The presidents noted the positive work of their advisors and representatives, especially Secretary Rubio, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Special Envoy Kellogg, and others. The presidents instructed their teams to move ahead with the technical issues related to implementing and broadening the partial ceasefire. The presidents instructed their advisors and representatives to carry out this work as quickly as possible. The presidents emphasized that in further meetings, the teams can agree on all necessary aspects of advancing toward lasting
Brother Frank,
peace and
my
security.
man.
That is a
Good
lengthy
morning.
statement that was just given to me, so thanks for bearing with me. Our office will, of course, provide this after. And as you know, as I just pointed out in the statement, the president's team of negotiators and national security experts will be heading to Saudi again later this week to continue working on and ironing out the details. But
Yep, it's back and forth to make sure. Well, we use Saudi Arabia as a basically like neutral ground area for Russia.
I would just like to emphasize we have never been this close to peace.
Yo,
and
Tats.
it's only because of President Trump
Good
that we are
morning.
here.
Or good
I think
afternoon.
a couple of years ago,
Over
as
there in
you
the
all
UK.
reported on the war, it was incomprehensible to have a partial ceasefire in this conflict. And today that is true because of the leadership of this president.
So
Mary.
agreed to closely share information between their
What's up, Jack, over there at Panelverse, man?
defense staffs. Does that mean all intelligence sharing will continue? So the White House is rejecting Russia's request to pause.
Intelligence sharing in terms of defense for Ukraine will continue to be shared. Mary.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions. One on the United States Institute of Peace and then on the Supreme Court, if that's okay.
Sure.
So on the United States Institute of Peace, this is a little bit wild. I understand the old president refused to leave after he was removed from his position. He barricaded himself in his offices, had to be escorted out by police, left the building without Wi-Fi, telephones, elevators, and more, and is now telling media.
Biker News Canada up there in Canada, man. Good to see my man right there. Brother Bob chilling with
that
us.
Doge broke in and illegally removed him. So can you comment on this sequence of events and specify, did Doge illegally enter?
I'm really glad you brought this up, Mary. We were made aware of this story
Neighbor
by
guy.
individuals
Good morning.
at Doge, at Elon Musk's team, and also at the State Department who were unable to access this building. And it became very clear that there was a concerted effort amongst the rogue bureaucrats at the United States Institute of Peace to actually physically barricade themselves essentially
I
inside
agree.
of the building to prevent political appointees of this administration who work at the direction of the President of the United States to get into the building. There was a piece in the Daily Caller, thank you for sharing the truth on this, about what happened. Staff contacted the MPD in an attempt to prevent DOJ personnel from entering. They barricaded the doors. They also disabled telephone lines, internet.
Damn, see Ruger up in here. My man. Good to see you. Man, it's been a minute. I'm seeing a whole bunch of legends pull up, man. Good morning to you, kind sir.
Connections and other IT infrastructure within the building. They distributed
And
flyers
Greg?
internally,
Damn. Good morning.
encouraging each other to basically prevent these individuals from accessing the building. I use this to say this is what DOJ and this administration is facing. It's a resistance from bureaucrats who don't want to see change in this city. President Trump was elected on an overwhelming mandate to seek change and implement change, and this is unacceptable behavior.
That lag is on their side, not ours. That's theirs.
We'll take a 2-minute break. You won't miss it.
Nope, we're not doing no 2-minute break. Now we're gonna go into some breaking news here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over to the IDF for a minute and see what they are stating for some breaking news up in here. Up in here. All right. Boom. Let's do this.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on Live Now from
Let's
Fox.
run it.
It's Thursday morning, March 20th. I'm Gene Francina.
Yo, Jay Goldbar up in the building. We got our Left-Handed Tobacco sponsor of the show, man, up in here. Hey, appreciate my man right there. Hopefully you're having a fantastic morning this morning. Shit. Let's get it.
We come on the air. We are following some breaking news as it relates to conflict in the Middle East. I want to transition to give you a live look out in Khan Yunis, Gaza on this Thursday morning. A lot to discuss as we are following breaking news from the Associated Press. They report Israeli strikes killed at least 58 Palestinians across the Gaza Strip overnight and into Thursday. This coming from 3 hospitals in the area. The strikes hit multiple homes in the middle of the night, killing men, women, and children.
So 58. So the headline right now reads, Israeli strikes across Gaza hit several homes, killing at least 58 Palestinians.
As they slept.
Now, this is not including the 404 that were unalived about 3 days ago.
Well, hours later, the Israeli military restored a blockade on northern Gaza, including Gaza City, that it had maintained for most of the war. I want to share this latest information from the Associated Press. This just came in moments ago before we came on the air. They say breaking, the Israeli military says it will no longer allow Palestinians to enter northern Gaza from the south, restoring a blockade on the north it maintained for much of the war before January ceasefire. And
I'm actually not surprised by this. I'm actually surprised that it wasn't already like this, to be kind of real.
Actually want to give you a live look out in that area to provide a further perspective. This is southern Israel looking into Gaza. We are learning that as it relates to this, the Israeli military, Israeli Defense Forces, commonly known as the IDF, they warned residents against using the main highway to enter or leave the north and said only passage to the south would be allowed on the coastal road. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians returned to what remains of their homes in the north after a ceasefire took hold in January. Israel resumed heavy strikes across Gaza Tuesday, shattering the truce that had facilitated the release of more than 24 hostages. Israel blamed the renewed fighting on Hamas because the militant group rejected a new proposal that departed from their signed agreement. As it relates to the Trump administration, that administration, which did take credit for helping to broker the ceasefire, has voiced full support for Israel. More than 400.
How many from Hamas were killed? I don't know the exact answer to that, but I do know that their top official over there for Hamas was unalived, and 3 others in his cabinet, essentially, kind of like the foot soldiers for one of the head dude. So that's all I know. I have not heard like a list or a number to answer that yet, wild card. I'm sure we will hear that soon, but as of right this second, I only know about 4 that they specifically talked about, and they were of significant power. Anyways, back to this.
Palestinians were killed on Tuesday alone, mostly women and children, according
Terrible.
to Gaza's health ministry. There have been no reports of Hamas firing rockets or carrying out other attacks. As it relates to the other breaking news as we're following, Israeli strikes across Gaza hit several homes overnight and into this Thursday, killing at least 58 Palestinians. I want to change the shot for you again, giving you a live look out in Gaza. The Israeli military said it intercepted a missile launched by Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels early this Thursday before it reached
Man,
Israeli.
the Houthi rebels sent another missile towards. Oh man! So Israel intercepted that missile.
Airspace as air raid sirens and exploding interceptors were heard.
That's how
in
you do it,
Jerusalem.
Jesse.
No injuries were reported. It was the second such attack since the U.S. began a new campaign of airstrikes against the rebels earlier this week. Now, one of the strikes on Gaza early this Thursday hit a home in a village just outside of Khan Yunis. You're getting a live look on your screen out in Khan Yunis, which is close to the border with Israel. AP says it was inside an area the Israeli military ordered evacuations for earlier this week, encompassing most of eastern Gaza. The strike killed at least 16 people, mostly women and children, according to the nearby European hospital, which received the dead. Those included a father and his 7 children, as well as the parents and brother of a month-old baby. There's no immediate comment from the Israeli military on these latest strikes. The military says it only targets militants and blames civilian deaths on Hamas because it is deeply embedded in residential areas. So a lot to discuss as we are following this breaking news.
Brutal.
And again,
brutal.
Jerusalem was mentioned from the Associated Press. I now want to transition there and give you a live look out in Jerusalem. Again, we did learn that Israeli military saying they intercepted a missile launched on this Thursday by Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels, which did reach Israeli airspace. And we're told that raid sirens and exploding interceptors were heard right there in Jerusalem. The good news, no injuries reported. So a lot to break down and dissect as it relates to this breaking news. And we will continue to follow the very latest here on Live Now from Fox. Again, if you're just now tuning in, I want to transition to show you this again.
Okay, so we do know about what the AP just said on that. So now we're going to go ahead and move into more breaking news before we get into what is happening with the hospital, right? All right, so we got another breaking news story real quick. We're going to fly into.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. Following some breaking news this Thursday morning, a Georgetown University graduate student is at the center of a legal battle this morning after being detained by ICE. Federal authorities saying he's a security threat, but the university is pushing back. Fox 5 DC's Melanie Onwick joining us live this morning outside of the university in the Northwest area with what we know so far. Melanie, good morning.
Good morning. So here's what we know. Dr. Badar Khan Suri.
That's right. By the way, hit that like button, everybody, real quick. Helps out the show immensely. I'm not asking anyone to send in any money or anything like that, but it helps out the show immensely. You guys go in that one little extra step. It's free. It's free. You know what I mean? And you guys don't have to like the world's madness, but you guys can like my takes. And we got Brother So Loud as well, saying good morning, Mike, and all the ballers. Hope y'all having a great day. Much respect from the boondocks of North Carolina. Shout out to my man right there. Hopefully your Thursday morning's going fantastic like us.
He is being detained in Louisiana.
Wicked
his
smart.
attorney tells us that he was arrested near his home in Arlington, Virginia on Monday. Now, he is here on a student visa. He's a graduate student. Georgetown University says he's a researcher and instructor with the School of Foreign Service and the Awalid Center for Muslim Christian Understanding. His work, according to the
Joseph up there in Canada. Yes, sir. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Good to see you, man.
University is focused on peace building in Iraq and Afghanistan. In a statement, a Georgetown University spokesperson said, quote, "We are not aware of him engaging in any illegal activity, and we have not received a reason for his detention. We support our community members."
Aldi's like a grocery store / convenience store / gas station kind of thing.
Rights to free and open inquiry, deliberation,
Did
and
I explain
debate,
that correctly?
even if the
What's up,
underlying
spaceman?
ideas may be difficult,
The man.
controversial, or objectionable, we expect the legal system to adjudicate this case fairly. Now, Assistant Homeland Security Secretary Tricia McLaughlin replied to a story about the arrest on social media and alleged that Khan Suri was, quote, actively spreading Hamas propaganda and promoting anti-Semitism on social media, adding Suri has close connections to a known or suspected terrorist who is a senior advisor to Hamas, and said that Secretary of State Marco Rubio determined that the doctor was a foreign policy threat. Now, Georgetown University student newspaper The Hoya says that Khan Suri is married to a U.S. citizen who is also a graduate student in the School of Foreign Service. There have been reports that her father is a former member of Hamas, so that is probably what the Assistant Secretary for Homeland Security was referring to when she said that he had ties to a suspected Hamas advisor.
Exactly, wild card. If you're illegal, you gotta go, dude.
So that is all being sorted
Simple.
out. We know that he had some social media posts in support of Palestine. His wife is Palestinian. We've reached out to his attorney as well. The attorney is trying to file for his release. The attorney says he doesn't have a lot of information at this point because it's still very early. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Fox 5 DC's Melanie Onwick, always detailed and
Now we're going to move into another breaking story. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around. We're almost to the next point here. Okay, we know already about the IDF. They brought it back into rotation there for a second. So we're going to find the next, see the EU Parliament, like all this shit right here. No one needs to watch this. I'm sorry. EU Parliament president speaks following EU summit roundtable on Ukraine. Like, we need to hear this fucking broad talk? Nah, dude. No, we don't. Just so everyone knows, they get up there and they just want money. All right. So now here's one more story before we get into the shooting of the hospital. We've got protesters are gathering outside of Netanyahu's home in Tel Aviv in Jerusalem right now in Israel. So let's go ahead and figure out what the story is here and what is happening, because it is all breaking. And this was, it was actually kind of known that this could and will happen. They did say, hey, we're going to be protesting, and then we're going to protest at Netanyahu's property, basically. And here we go.
but I do want to transition to some breaking news. I'm bringing one of the boxes full on your screen right now. You're getting a live look out in Jerusalem, Israel. I will say viewer discretion is advised because it is kind of hard to watch. Right now, again,
this is a viewer discretion advised situation right now, because shit is fucking going down. These things are going through gates. These things are moving cars.
protesters have gathered outside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's home in Tel Aviv, Israel. Reuters reporting that a coalition of hostage families and protesters against the Israeli Prime Minister have moved against the judiciary and parts of the security.
We got Mr. Boulay up in the building, by the way. Oh, we got Alabama's finest saying adjudicate, one of my favorite words. Good morning, folks. Working and lurking. These memos don't write themselves. That is facts, by the way. We got Mr. Boulay always coming in hot with the knowledge, man. I always appreciate you, man. Good morning.
They have decided to come together again after war returned to Gaza this week. The prime minister's decision to resume the war and bombard the Palestinian enclave. At this time, we're learning several people in the Gaza area, Palestinians in the Gaza area, died from Israeli overnight airstrikes. When we first came on the air, the death toll was 58. That has since increased to now 85. So a lot going on. And since that, family members are upset. They are saying
true. Don't be an ass bang, by the way. Definitely hit that like. And do you see that water cannon just squirting from the top of this? Watch right here, off the top of this police truck. Watch what happens.
A lot going on, and since that,
there goes
family
the cannon.
Members are upset. They are saying that because the conflict has now ensued and that the ceasefire is broken, it now means that their loved ones will remain in Hamas captivity. tense times, to say the least. You see the gentleman on your screen going back and forth with Israeli officials and law enforcement there on the ground. When we first saw this feed, when it was on your screen, you know, the entire road was blocked off with protesters. And then they started bringing in the guard, which you see there, those big police vehicles to kind of push the protesters to the side of the road. And we've even seen people getting water hose.
Look at those gates. They just demolished it. Like as if those little tiny gates were going to stop the Israeli military. Yeah, fucking right.
People and barricades
Look at this shit.
there.
What are you going to do?
Barricades knocked over completely.
Let's
now.
go ahead and just put it back up. Let's go ahead and do that because let's go ahead and block them in now. And then they'll just run through it again. What are we doing?
Being worked to get put back into position. I will bring up the audio to see if we can hear anything on this feed before we go to a break. So stand by and let's listen in.
Chaos. Redneck Side Motorcycle Whips up in the building. Say, Mike Ball, what's up, brother? Getting ready to hop on the bike? Hell yeah, man. Go make sure you ride safe out there, man.
So again, that's why we said viewer discretion advised. Didn't think the guy would put the middle finger up in the middle of the shot, but as
hey, middle fingers are up, cuh. And yeah, Kitty, I learned a lot of U.S. slang words on here. Yeah, damn fact, by the way. Hit the like button for slang words and ass bangs and shit. You know what I mean? Shit.
He did. He got water hosed by Israeli officials and then moved back off to the side. You can't really hear the chants because of the machinery and the vehicles that are out there. They're so big. That's all you can really hear with the natural sound in the distance. But a very tense situation, to say the least. People out there with signs and flags as they chant, protesting outside of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's home there in Tel Aviv, Israel. Maybe we will hear some comments from the Israeli government, because we are looking ahead to 9:30 this morning Eastern time, when the Israeli government holds their briefing, giving an update on the conflict there in the Middle East and also on the hostage situation. But we have yet to receive a briefing of what that press conference will entail. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this shot, though. Again, if you're just now tuning in on this Thursday, when we first came to this feed, the protesters that are now on the side of the road, they completely blocked off the middle of the road. They knocked over barricades. They were shouting. They were chanting there at Israeli police. You see police there in position in the middle of the street. The protesters getting in close proximity, so close that as they were shouting, they were literally spitting on the police officials. From there, water hoses were used to kind of disperse the protesters from outside of the Israeli Prime Minister's home. And then they got to the side of the road. Police vehicles were brought in to disperse the protesters as well. Well, now you can see the protesters, they are coming back to the center of the street, not letting any water, not letting the police vehicles deter them from what they feel is necessary. They say since the war has continued, they say since their family members are still in Hamas captivity, they will do whatever it takes to bring them home. We are getting a quick tweet in from Israeli Defense Forces on X. I want to share that with you. It says, quote, siren sound.
Siren sounding in central Israel after projectile fire from terrorists in Gaza. Oh, boy. Here we go.
Oh, shit. In central Israel after projectile fire from terrorists in Gaza. So you can see this is a very fluid situation.
Yeah, because he likes the Spanish corn because it's got a little bit more lubrication on it, and it's got the chili on it. You know, it makes it a little spicy. Shit.
I want to get back to this shot. For many people, it might remind you of what you've seen here with protests, how people get in close contact with police officials and hold their hands up to basically say, I am here, I'm close to you, but I'm not a threat. That's what's happening
Gunpowder
right here in
Nitro.
real time out in Tel Aviv, Israel. So we'll continue to keep a close eye on this shot. We do have to go to a quick 2-minute commercial break, but when we come back, staying on top of this.
No 2-minute commercial break. All right. So we're going to move into, I believe now, what is happening. Yes, we're moving into Troy. This is what we're going to be finalizing our day with, ladies and gentlemen. So this comes out of the Troy Police Department over there in Michigan. We can confirm there has been a shooting at Corewell Health Beaumont Troy Hospital. This appears to be an isolated incident. However, the suspect is not in custody. Please avoid the area. Media staging area will be at the Troy Training Center. Okay, so dude's on loose, huh?
Latest on this story, this breaking news event. We do have content partners out in Detroit, Fox 2. Let's
Loves elote.
check in with them now and see if they are on this.
If it looks like a fupa, eat it like a chalupa.
Breaking news alert.
Police coming from Sterling Heights.
God damn, that audio sucks. I'm bringing that down.
Coming from Macomb County, all over Oakland County, just to respond to the situation. It really is all hands on deck. And as I mentioned when I talked to that employee earlier that was out here, she tells me that she never imagined that she would
Fucking Steve.
be dealing with an active shooter situation anywhere, let alone at the hospital where she works at. So certainly this is just alarming to so many people this morning. And police, they are just trying to track down the suspects so that everything can get back to normal and get this all under control.
Robin, thank you so much. We'll let you go gather some more information as it becomes available. And once again, that breaking news, a person has been shot at Corewell Health Beaumont in Troy. The suspect still on the loose. Avoid the area if possible.
And a press conference coming here live in just a little bit. We'll be right back.
All right, so our content partners over at Fox 2 Detroit, they are going.
Hell yeah, Carney. Stick around for, by the way, because we're coming to the conclusion of what's happening here. Stick around because we are going to be rating Brother Carney. I believe he's got an open panel. If you guys want to get up there and chat it up with the homie, absolutely stick around for that. We always love giving our love and support over to our brothers. You know what I mean?
To a quick commercial break. Thanks to my producer for getting the latest in developing situation.
Kind of want a chalupa now.
As you can see, but we are updating it in real time. The latest from the Troy Police Department on this Thursday morning, they say, we can confirm there has been a shooting at Corewell Health Beaumont Troy Hospital. This appears to be an isolated incident. However, the suspect is not in custody. Please avoid the area. Looking at Fox 2 Detroit's page, we have a breakdown. They say the latest briefing is law enforcement responded to a shooting scene at Corewell Health Beaumont Troy Hospital in Oakland County on this Thursday. Police saying that the suspect was at large, but said the shooting appeared to be isolated. We do see they are back from a commercial break. Let's check in with them now.
Oh, they love them tortas. Sheesh.
Health Beaumont, the Troy location, as you can see over my shoulder here, just a number of officers out here now dealing with this active shooter situation that happened just a couple of hours ago out here. We have been able to confirm that there has been one person that was shot that is currently being treated.
There we go, Steve, by the way. Here we go. There goes Straight Jacket. Certified torta pounder. Sheesh. Just got to send it.
This is an isolated incident, but unfortunately, investigators out here, police out here, they're still trying to track down the suspect. And that is exactly why they are telling people to avoid this area at this time. Now, Beaumont, Corewell Health Beaumont, they did send out an email to all of its employees earlier this morning, kind of warning them about the situation and telling them to take as many.
Yes, sir. Hey, Brother Wes, always appreciate you hanging out with us for the hour, man, because you guys could be anywhere else in the world, but you guys decide to be right here with me, man. So big, humongous W to the Breakfast Club, by the way. Just got to say it.
Safety precautions as possible. They're telling them to follow their run, hide, and fight guidelines in this situation. They're also telling people that if you are not at the facility right now, to stay away. There is no reason to be here because obviously police are working to track down the suspect involved in the shooting at the hospital earlier this morning. Now, we are hearing that there is going to be a press conference in just a little bit, and hopefully at that press conference, we'll be able to get some more details as to exactly what happened this morning, who they are looking for, what this is all about. Again, right now it does appear that this is an isolated incident that police are dealing with. And again, the search for the suspect continuing at this hour. We are live here in Troy. I'm Robin Murder. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
And Robin, we just got new.
Hey, man, Duke, please make sure that you keep in contact with us. You know what I mean? Whether it's me or somebody in the Breakfast Club or something like that, man. Hey, very much appreciate you. Hopefully that you feel better. And, you know, definitely let me know. And if you don't already have it, you may already have it, Duke, but feel free to hit me up, you know, in my direct messages on Instagram if you happen to have it. You may be like, I don't use social media, but it's there at Ball Valve TV, you know, and definitely hit me up and I will respond, of course. Yeah, man, take care of yourself.
Information from a spokesperson with Corewell Health. So I'm going to read this to you right now. It says, quote, "We are working with local law enforcement."
Yo, brother Sage, good to see you as well, man. Good morning to you.
Out of an abundance of caution, the hospital is still on lockdown. One victim is in the emergency department for medical treatment. Patients with services scheduled should not come to the hospital at this time. Patients may call the department where they were scheduled for service directly, and no other information is available at this time. So no treatment going on right now at the hospital in terms of scheduled services.
We are also hearing that some of the schools in this area are also on lockdown. So as you mentioned, the hospital is on lockdown as a result of this. Some of the schools nearby, we were told, are also in lockdown while police deal with this situation. It really is all hands on deck. I'm going to step out of the way so we can kind of give you a live look at the scene here and all of those flashing lights down there, all of the emergency.
Man, that's a lot of cops.
Crews that have responded to this to try and gain control of the situation and to try and track down the suspect. Again, dozens and dozens.
Fuck, that's a lot of cops.
Of officers out here from multiple departments all over Metro Detroit, trying to get a handle on this situation. As you said, we've got one person who has been shot, who is currently getting medical treatment right now, and the search for whoever.
I live in Alabama and I feel like I'm too close to Detroit.
Shot that person underway. Back to you guys.
And Robin, obviously, as you police look for a suspect, they would be searching the hospital and the surrounding area. And it sounds like, as of right now, there's not a good handle on where that suspect is.
No.
Yeah. You know,
homie's on the run. And good luck finding homeboy.
A large, campus. There's lots of areas.
Where's the fucking surveillance? You know what I mean? Where's the video surveillance?
There's parking decks. There's the hospital itself. Many wings of the hospital. So investigators certainly have a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, Montgomery, Birmingham, all that shit is the hood. Hell yeah, absolutely. We got hoods here.
When trying to clear every area of the hospital in terms of their search for the suspect. So, obviously we're hoping that this is going to be a quick process, that they're going to be able to find this person very, very
Oh shit, you heard they already caught him? It was a coworker shooting? No
quickly,
way.
But they have got a lot of area to cover. They have got a lot
Oh,
of
they're still
places
going.
to
I
search.
see.
So this certainly could take some time out here.
All right. This is Corewell Health, Beaumont Troy Hospital. That's where we find Robin this morning. We are going to, and I know you're checking on what you can.
I'm
Hold on.
probably not going to get into.
Suspect in custody after shooting a hospital in Troy, Michigan. Wow, he got caught.
Update from local law enforcement now. This, again, on your screen is some footage from earlier today as we saw multiple law enforcement agents there in the area. Let's head back to our partners at Fox 2 in Detroit for their continuing coverage.
So, what's where'd they find him? Just down the street or some bullshit? Who is this dude?
For a sheriff, what can you tell us?
Well, this was our CPR command post for
Sheriff?
all the operations in the area. The suspect has been taken into custody.
That's their lag, not us.
So we're releasing most of the assets from the area. We're doing some final things with our partners. Troy's going to take everything from this point forward. They'll be talking to the media at some point in the day about the totality of what happened.
What can you tell us about how you were able to put this suspect into custody?
We're probably not going to get in too great a detail at this point about that. The most important thing was that he was located quickly. Obviously, a lot of things need to happen at the hospital.
In the first 48.
We had to get that clear so that they could
In the
get back
first
to doing
48 minutes in this case.
emergency surgery and taking care of their patients and give some reassurance to the community. Troy and everybody did a great job partnering up and making sure that happened.
Exactly. And this scene is massive. I mean, I'm looking at the response. What did it take in terms of, I saw Shelby Township, Troy, obviously Oakland County deputies, just to bring some calmness to this?
Yeah, there were tons and tons of agencies.
Yeah, there was. We know that. We know that.
Or 11:30 a.m. Excuse me.
Hold on. Let's see what this dude has to say real quick, and then
department
we'll wrap this up.
Were employed, so still plenty of questions to be answered.
Absolutely. There are a lot of unknowns, Ryan, at this time. We were here
That voice.
asking those very questions about X, Y, and
Those very questions. What are you, like fucking French and gay at the same time, dude? What's happening?
everything you just said. And those are some of the questions we hope to learn more about, more answers later on today at that 1 p.m. press conference. That could change because, again, an officer came in and said it was scheduled for 11 a.m. or 11:30 a.m., excuse me. Now it's been pushed back to 1 p.m. Fluid, emotional.
1 p.m. Eastern.
Police are trying to find out more information as this investigation continues. But yes, a lot of unknowns regarding the two employees. How long have they been employed at the hospital? What led up to this situation, which caused the suspect to fire five gunshots with that handgun, shooting the suspect, not the suspect, excuse me, the victim twice in the arm. It's good to hear that victim is in stable condition and will recover physically. But again, a lot of unknowns.
Why are you gay, sir? Why are you gay? You are gay.
As to what led up to this tragic moment.
Josh, another question.
Hit the like button.
Perhaps you'll be able to ask officers later on at this press conference. I do have people on social media who are reaching out to me saying that this particular parking garage has been an issue.
It's all one and the same, brother War Gorilla.
Where people have felt unsafe, and now there are some calls for more cameras
What's up,
in that
Stacks?
area, as
Good
well
morning.
as metal detectors when you enter the hospital in certain areas.
Hey, that's news to me, Mario. We didn't have any word of that. None of us here at the press conference didn't have any word of that about this.
Man, Slim, I can't thank you enough for that. He says, big love and respect, best YouTuber by far. Man, I can't take that. That is like the best compliment, dude. Seriously, thank you for that. Very selfless to say, man.
A particular parking structure being an issue in the past, but it's definitely a question to ask. I'm sure people who work at the hospital, again, a massive hospital, they have alluded to that point. So it's a question
You
to
too,
ask
brother
later
Steve.
on today.
Yes.
Again, I can't get away from the words fluid and emotional because it seems like every moment we're talking about this, something is changing. But it's good to know the suspect is in custody.
All right, Josh, great stuff out there.
Got him quick.
Thanks so much. Sit tight. We'll get back to you momentarily, but we're going to take a break, and we'll see you on the.
You even know how to work your audio mic. It's amazing. Shit. Yes, it is amazing. When a motherfucker actually got a clue when he's in the media how to run his equipment. Oh, wow. He actually understands, audio and shit. Wow. It's like being a live streamer and having no idea how video works. You know what I mean? Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. We got Mr. Boulay saying, this isn't funny, but I feel better about buying ammo this morning after seeing the news. I heard Troy and thought Troy, Alabama, new home of Kimber, 1911. They moved to Alabama from New York a few years ago. So sad. Wow. Did not know that, by the way. And I did know about Troy, Alabama. And originally when I saw this headline, by the way, Mr. Boulay, I thought they were talking about Troy, Alabama as well. So kind of funny that you said that, by the way. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for being here and doing the live show with me, man. I can't do this shit without you guys. And I really, really appreciate your guys' engagement, your guys' commenting live with me, and as well as donations and stuff like that, man. That's how we continue to do this shit. So I can't thank you guys enough for that, as well as hitting that like button. Like, listen, it could be in the beginning of the show, it could be in the middle of the show, or at the end of the show, like right now. It's never too late, man. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up to that. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Stick around because we're going to be rating our buddy Carney's ride over there. So make sure that you guys go like his show. And if you guys haven't subscribed already, go do that. God bless everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on to his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and